Hey, I'm Jim Vanover, class of '96. I am so pleased to walk you through the mural for that was in memoriam of Doug Leverage, also class of '96. So this mural was actually designed by myself and Doug before we graduated high school. We had this plan that because we had reinvigorated the theater program here in the '90s, that we really wanted to immortalize it somehow. And so we got it in our heads that in high school we could paint this big mural. So we designed it and we were all excited. And then, like things do when you become a senior, we just didn't get to it. And we all went off to college. And unfortunately, Doug contracted non-Hodgkin's lymphoma his freshman year of college and passed away, which is why, of course, it's in memory of Doug. In his memory, his mother very generously donated the funds necessary to hire Bill Vulovich, a muralist here in the South Bay, to paint this entire mural. And so we began the process of what should it look like, how do we bring it to life, and who should be in it. So I'm going to walk you through what we have, and we'll learn a little bit about how we got here. So obviously this is Doug in all of his 90s attire, including his bowling shoes that at the time he became famous for wearing. This is Amanda and Jim. They were actors and tech staff at the time. They were not in a relationship, don't misunderstand this. They were just friends, and they're on the couch that we used for every rehearsal, this little modular couch we were able to move around and use for everything. Then we have Alicia Teeter, who was one of the performers. She always was in all the musicals. She had an incredible singing voice. To this day, she is still performing in musicals, depending on when you're seeing this, of course. Then, an homage to Doug. Doug appears in the mural twice. So think of Doug, this is Doug as he appeared, and then the previous version of Doug is the memory of Doug. So Doug watching himself on stage. The production on stage is actually the first production that occurred in the space when it was redesigned in the '90s. Back then it was called the Little Theater. And the production is Our Town. And the scene is of Mr. Webb telling George, asking him what he's gonna do in the future. Incidentally, this is William Lawrenson, this is Kelly Tager, and this handsome gentleman is myself. Then we've got Sarah. Sarah was part of the technical staff, and Sarah represents a number of people, including herself and Kelly Sheeman. Incidentally, she's a composite of a number of people because not everyone could be there for the reference photo shoot. Then we've got Jennifer. Jennifer Nisley was part both backstage and on stage, reviewing her lines. And then cut there.
I will.
Cheryl Linsky. Then this is Cheryl Linsky, backstage, and then Annie Gilbert, also backstage. Then we're gonna go upstairs. Before we do, this was a piece of paper that we always used as a reference for all the scene changes. We wrote down all the scene changes on this piece of paper. But if we go upstairs, so the pirate theme was often a theme that came up with this group of people. We were not just friends in theater, but we were also friends off campus. So we always had this pirate theme about it, and we felt it was rather theatrical to include. Then next to that, we've got David and Jason. David and Jason are recreating, maybe obvious, a scene from Hamlet, the famous gravedigger scene. Incidentally, the broom that David is holding was supposed to be a shovel, and we just never got around to taking the reference picture. Then we come across to the clothing. This is the clothing rack that was actually in use at the time. These are a number of pieces of clothing from Our Town, Music Man, and a number of performances we were doing. You may be asking yourself, what are all these little fuzzies around the mural? Those are actually a reference to the TV show Star Trek from the 60s. Doug Leverage was a big fan of Star Trek, and we wanted to include something in the mural that wasn't overtly Star Trek. And this was a nice subtle way to demonstrate and show Doug's love of Star Trek. So those are tribbles for those nerds who are watching. Then we've got Randy. Randy was the consummate technician. He was master electrician, lighting designer, and you see him making some adjustments to actually an amplifier, which he probably wouldn't have done at the time, but it was all we had for a reference. So that's everything we have across this mural. I wanted to thank you for clicking on this and taking a little walk through with me. I hope you learned something along the way. Thanks a lot.